But compared to MK 2021, the whole MCU catalog is Oscar worthy. Hey, gang, welcome, welcome, welcome. So, everybody's been talking about Mortal Kombat 2021. The fanboys love it. I completely can't stand it. I think it's horrible. And I'm trying to make an effort to raise the self esteem of the movie going crowd with regard to what they expect from their entertainment. So, I think comparing Mortal Kombat Legends, Scorpion's Revenge, to the recently atrocious Mortal Kombat 2021, by comparing them, we could get some answers as to why this works and why the latest movie absolutely doesn't work. Ironically enough, Mortal Kombat 2021 starts the same way as this with Scorpion's story, but right after that, it fails, and it actually fails during that scene as well because they really waste a lot of time in that one setting, which is indicative of the rest of the pacing issues we come to experience through the rest of Mortal Kombat 2021. So, what does Scorpion's Revenge do to make it succeed that Mortal Kombat 2021 is absolutely oblivious to? Well, first thing is it completely embraces the characters and the outlandish lore and atmosphere and story that is Mortal Kombat. Right? It doesn't shy away from what it is. Another thing that's very important, yes, it doesn't shy away from what it is because by creating a new original character, just so for the using the excuse that it's the Cole Young is used as a vehicle to bring in regular viewers, non-Mortal Kombat fans, which is absolute bullshit, right? So it doesn't shy away from its characters. It's not shy about what it is. Another important factor I believe that separates this quality-wise from MK 2021 is the fact that there is an actual Mortal Kombat tournament, right? When you look back at really good kung fu movies, martial arts movies, especially something we're thinking about this, a martial arts movie that's very similar to the Mortal Kombat tournament concept is Enter the Dragon with Bruce Lee, right? It's hype. You feel energetic. You feel hype when Bruce Lee arrives on the island. You know the strings play, the trumpets play. You're excited. It's an exciting time. It's the tournament, right? And the fact that Mortal Kombat 2021 doesn't have this at all, is a big factor as to why that movie is absolute trash. The major thing that makes Mortal Kombat Mortal Kombat 2021 doesn't have. Right? I can't stress this enough. The tournament is such a big part of this movie and is such a big element in martial arts movies in general. Look at most anime, if not all anime, most anime have tournament arcs. The tournament arc is a big part of anime because it's exciting. It's exciting. You know, you're introduced to a bunch of formidable characters, and now as an audience member, you want to see how these characters stand up when put against each other. Mortal Kombat 2021 doesn't have that. Doesn't have the build up. Doesn't have the showdown. No showdown. Right? So this Mortal Kombat Scorpion's Revenge has an amazing tournament arc. Everybody's in the tournament for their various reasons. Shang Tsung isn't trying to finish the tournament. He isn't trying to win the tournament before it even starts. Right? So it succeeds already because it's true to what Mortal Kombat is. So I don't know if you're noticing a common trend here, which is being true to the IP, to the intellectual property, right? Its success comes from it being true to what it is. Another thing that makes Scorpion's Revenge better than MK 2021 is the way it incorporates all the different aspects of Mortal Kombat, which is the different realms, the adventure, the excitement of going on an adventure, right? And you might say, hey, Michael, it's easier to pull that off with animation than it is with live action, and I think that's bullshit because nothing is impossible these days in live action movies. The Marvel Cinematic Universe is proof of that. You can do whatever you want, and they do a little bit of that, in not quite enough and not well at all in MK 2021. You go to Outland, and Outland isn't. You don't feel things don't have to look real to feel real. And Outland in MK 2021 isn't real because the landscape looks cool, but then when you analyze it a little, what starts to stand out is that you don't notice any infrastructure. How do these people live? So all of a sudden, all that falls apart. But in Scorpion's Revenge, you go to these different locations. That's another thing. Mortal Kombat is a very interesting world because you go to different dimensions, different places, Earth Realm, Outland, or whatever. You go to all these different places, but MK 2021 does not have that. Primarily, I think the reason why Scorpion's Revenge actually works is that it follows tried and true traits and characteristics of storytelling, right? Which is formidable obstacles for your main characters to face so that the audience senses that there are stakes here. There's something to lose here. And another thing is being consistent with the rules the movie or the story has set up and following through to the end. In MK 2021, everything's all over the place. You don't have a good grasp of the world, of the internal consistency of the world. I mean, once again, with regard to story structure and characteristics of good storytelling, this is irregardless of, medium. It doesn't matter if it's animated. It doesn't matter if it's a movie. It doesn't matter if it's a song or a poem or whatever kind of, story that requires an audience to consume. It always has to have certain elements to make it work. And MK 2021 just absolutely doesn't have that. And, with this scene in particular, which they did in MK 2021, but not as good, we're setting up Scorpion's need. We're setting up his motivation, which is vengeance, right? And then in MK 2021, they try to do the same with Cole Young, but they already failed because Cole Young sucks completely. You don't care about his plight, even though his family is being threatened, because they undermine their own conflict and impetus for the main character to join the tournament by giving him several, of two to be specific, two reasons why he has to fight in Mortal Kombat, which is the threat to his family, and he's also chosen with the cheesy ass dragon tattoo, which is also the Mortal Kombat logo. Right? So Scorpion's Revenge, apart from the fact that it looks amazing, I believe this is the same studio that did Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles versus Batman, which is absolutely amazing. Something that I never thought would be interesting. I never read the comic book, so I didn't have any way of knowing what it's about. And watching that cartoon, it's a really great cartoon. If you haven't watched it, go watch that movie. Ninja Turtles versus Batman. Amazing. So it's the same style. So it looks amazing. You've got the gore, right? And Johnny Cage in this brings the humor. He's unbelievably funny in this. And his interactions with Sonya Blade, which is indicative of the intellectual property. Johnny Cage and Sonya Blaze, is it Blaze or Blade? They have a great relationship in the Mortal Kombat lore. Something that's completely missing in MK 2021 because guess what? There is no Johnny Cage. And it has this ham-fisted, horrible plug-in at the end that Cole Young is off to Hollywood to look for Johnny Cage. So stupid, right? And another great thing with regard to, that can be achieved by sticking to rules of story writing is complicating the plot because we end up finding out, as everybody knows, spoiler alert, it isn't actually the Sub-Zero that Scorpion believes this Sub-Zero, right? That Scorpion believes kills his family. It's a totally different Sub-Zero, right? So the plot thickens for Scorpion, complicating his journey. It's not as straightforward. But you don't get any of that. You don't get any kind of complication in MK 2021 as the story progresses. It's just bland through and through. Through and through. And I don't want to hear all that nonsense about, oh, the fight scenes are great, whatever, because everything, a movie could look amazing, but if it doesn't have these basic characteristics of good story writing, nothing else works. Everything falls apart. What's the point? Another thing that Scorpion's Revenge does well that makes it a more successful endeavor than MK 2021 is the fact that they don't invent a reason why these champions, these characters, have the powers they do. Chi or whatever in MK 2021, but I believe it's called Arcana in the Mortal Kombat lore. It just, and because it sticks to what it is, it doesn't need to explain it to anybody, right? There's no character like Liu Kang or Kung Lao explaining it to all the rest of the goofballs in MK 2021, thereby explaining it to the audience. Like, all that isn't necessary at all, and it doesn't exist in Scorpion's Revenge because they stuck to the rules of the world it's created. They don't need to explain any of that. It's just Mortal Kombat. It's crazy. You're in or you're out. You like what's going on or you don't like what's going on. Nothing. They don't try to explain anything, right? Because it's just like explaining a joke. If you don't get it, you don't get it, right? So MK 2021 is constantly spinning its wheels trying to justify what's going on to the audience, right? And that's another big reason why it fails. I also think another reason why MK 2021 pisses me off is because we have been blessed with, to put it that way, by the MCU with such crazy content, movies about different worlds, crazy worlds. We've been to Valhalla. We've been to hell, right? We've been to all these crazy places in all over the universe in the MCU. We've dealt with gods, Odin, Thor, right? You know, the God of Thunder, Raiden, right? See the similarities? So we've done all the stuff that Mortal Kombat does, and more, and way beyond, and properly depicted by the MCU, and done fairly competently, mostly very well. You know, there's some movies in the MCU like Ant-Man and what else? Like, I can't even think of. There are quite a few movies in the MCU catalog that kind of suck, but not to the level of MK 2021. So we've been inundated, thanks to the MCU, with crazy visuals, movies about crazy ideas, crazy concepts. So why can't I expect Mortal Kombat to be at least on par with the weakest of the MCU entries, which it doesn't achieve, not even close. No matter what you say about the weakest MCU movie, you can't say it's incoherent. You cannot say it's not entertaining. You cannot say it's not satisfying, right? You might have a lot of expectations. It might not please you completely, but compared to MK 2021, the whole MCU catalog is Oscar worthy, right? So that's another reason why I'm so frustrated with MK 2021, because they have a template. They have almost 20 movies or so, more than 20 movies from the MCU. Right, I don't know if it's that much, but they have enough MCUs, enough examples, enough movies from the MCU, enough templates to make a successful MK movie. Because in a lot of ways, Marvel has done it time and time again, especially when you think of like Thor Ragnarok, which had a tournament in it, right? You only saw one fight, but it had a tournament in it with, between Hulk and Thor. Right, and the what's the name of that planet? Anyway, you know the planet where the tournament takes place, and I can't remember. And the Master or the Grand Master, right? That's a tournament, right? So you get Thor Ragnarok is more Mortal Kombat than Mortal Kombat, right? And you have all kinds of creatures there, all kinds of gods. So why can't Mortal Kombat 2021 achieve the minimum of that, just a little bit of that, right? So that's why I'm pretty frustrated with MK 2021. It has no excuse to be as bad as it is. Something I didn't mention in my MK 2021 review was how terrible Goro was. Like, Goro is terrible in that movie. Even in the very first 90s movie, Goro, he looked terrible. He looked horrible, but he was formidable. You were intimidated by him. You were sorry for any champion who had to go up against Goro. Same with Scorpion's Revenge. When Goro appears in this, he's terrifying. And they actually achieved that a little in MK 2021. But it all falls apart as soon as Ko Young, develops his chi and manifests his armor and is now just quickly and out of nowhere able to take Goro out. Right? He's getting his ass kicked, and then all of a sudden he's able to just, he develops his armor, whatever, and then he kills Goro. Very anticlimactic. Very anticlimactic. So the action here in Scorpion's Revenge, you can feel the stakes. Even though it's a cartoon, you feel the stakes. You feel the threat. You feel that our Earth champions might not be able to succeed. Their foes, their enemies, just like in any good story, are much stronger than they are. Right? So, yeah. So those are some reasons that I can think of right off the top of my head as to what makes Scorpion's Revenge a much better Mortal Kombat movie than MK 2021. So, yeah, tell me what you guys think. I just thought I'll just, make this video because it just came to mind since everybody's talking about Mortal Kombat 2021. I just think that this is a much better movie. If you haven't seen it, check it out. But, yeah, tell me what you think in the comments below. And, let's talk about it. Yeah, try to convince me that Mortal Kombat 2021 is amazing. And, let's talk about it in the comments below. Thanks for watching. Peace out.